Welcome to Brainstorm MTG. I'm ELD, and this is Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic the Gathering. We have Storm versus Dylan's Maverick aggro loam type deck. It bounces back and forth. He is definitely a brewer. We're going to see Chalice. We're going to see most likely Gaddock Teague and other Hate Bears cards like Thalia. His draw engine of choice tends to be Dark Confidant. We also have seen Life from the Loam as well. So we'll see exactly what he's up to this week as he kind of fine-tunes his list to try and deal with our local meta. Storm, one of the tougher matchups that this type of deck can face. See who's on the play here. A whole fistful of rituals along with a duress. Very powerful hand. I did not see some actual business, though. You can have all the mana in the world. If you don't have a tutor or a Past in Flames or an Ad Nauseam or a finisher like Empty the Warrens, in that case, that's a whole lot of nothing. You do not want to be at the mercy of the top of your library. This type of deck, you want opportunities to make good plays. And you want to be able to put your opponent to the test and force them to play an excellent game of Magic. And here we go, starting out with a duress. Seeing Chalice, Wasteland, and we see that there's a basic swamp in hand, so playing the Underground Sea actually incorrect there. Would have been denied access to that preordain if Dylan was willing to just trade off the Wasteland for the Underground Sea and hope that I don't have enough lands to follow up. But it looks like I am actually drawing into lands. Infernal Tutor in hand. And are we just going for it now? We're doing it. Here we go. Doing it live. 5 mana, 3 storm, 4 storm off of LED. Cabal Ritual and Infernal Tutor in hand still. Storm, the graveyard only has 5 cards in it, so Lion's Eye Diamond not going to be able to push it to Threshold. That is one of my favorite things to do. Looks like I shouldn't have played that Volcanic Island. That's actually incorrect. The Volcanic Island would have ended up in the graveyard instead of in play. Would have lost 1 mana off of that, but I would have netted more mana off of the Cabal Ritual. So that was actually just straight up wrong. Goes to show you just how many decisions there are in Storm. Making the land drop for turn was incorrect, but still going to get there. As there is 10 mana floating, and that Infernal Tutor gets flashed back. Duress one more time. Gain whatever information I can about Dylan's list, as it does change quite a bit. And there's the Tendrils. To wrap up game number 1. So got there despite a misplay there. Cabal Ritual, one of the strongest cards in this particular version of Storm. I would argue it's the actual reason to play this version, is just the extreme power of Cabal Ritual. Getting 5 mana for 2, plays around Chalice, doesn't get completely wrecked by Trinisphere. And I'll tell you, I had a match at the Scholars Legacy Championship where I actually was up against Pox and faced down a turn 1 Trinisphere and a Liliana shortly after. Was hellbent for almost the entire game and actually still got there after discarding Past in Flames and Tendrils and a bunch of rituals. Eventually found another Cabal Ritual on top and was able to Cabal Ritual into Past in Flames, replay everything, and win through Trinisphere. And that is just a testament to the power of Cabal Ritual. Just generates so much mana, even under effects like Trinisphere or Thorn of Amethyst. Dylan, very aware of my Storm list here. Of course, it's on the channel, but he does play against it often. And he is a regular almost every week. He is at Scholars to sleeve it up, sharpen his skills, and he has improved a lot since he has started playing Legacy. Obviously, still making mistakes from time to time. Taking his pile shuffle here. So some of the things that we really need to be concerned about are cards like Thalia and Gaddock Teague. Those cards, generally, you're going to want to answer them. Thalia making things cost potentially 10 extra mana over the course of storming out is a bit excessive. Very often, you're better off answering her with a Fatal Push than just trying to combo straight through her, though it is potentially possible. Gaddock Teague, on the other hand, is actually a stone cold just roadblock. There's nothing you can do to get past him other than remove him. Both your, I mean, really, you can't even move towards victory until you get rid of him, because you can't ad nauseum or Past in Flames. So you pretty much need to use your cantrips to draw into either Chain of Vapor, Echoing Truth, or Fatal Push. Luckily, there are those cards in the deck post-board. Hurkyl's Recall is another card that can come in versus these Tate decks. It does answer Chalice very effectively. And typically what you're taking out versus a deck like this will be your discard. You actually don't care what's in your opponent's hand. You literally only care what's on board. So to that degree, very often discard spells are underwhelming. The cards are not a problem until they actually hit the board. And yeah, you can preempt that by thought seizing them. But if they do have a hand that's, say, Chalice, Thalia, and Gaddock Teague, you'd much rather that they play their threat, you answer the threat, and then just kill them, instead of taking one of the threats from their hand, and then they just play a threat on board that you don't have an answer to. Preordain here off of a basic island, hoping to establish a solid mana base. And putting those two on the bottom. Empty the Warrens. Now, it is worth noting that this double ley line that Dylan has is going to be a bit of a hindrance to Cabal Ritual in particular. That card is kind of the engine of the deck. It's the mana engine. While it doesn't generate card drawing or card advantage per se, it does give just such explosive mana. And Leyline is going to make it pretty terrible. Thalia likely going to have to be answered here. Dark Confidant. You can play through Thalia with multiple Cabal Rituals, but a bit of a stretch from here. Ponder Shuffling. Dylan may feel a little bit of relief there. Always disconcerting when a Storm player ponders or preordains and keeps them. That likely means you're going to be dead soon. Still with the basic lands. Immune to Wasteland, and there's a Scavenging Ooze. Ponder again. Now, Dylan likely playing Dryad Arbor still in the list. He does run Green Sun Zenith. It is excellent acceleration on turn 1. And here we have a Wasteland. Now, depending on how far advanced we were, I wasn't paying enough attention there. Wasteland could have come down and hit that fetch land, forcing a shuffle, depending on what was left on top of the deck. And it looks like it was Fatal Push. This Mox Diamond not likely to be very good. He has plenty of mana. Fatal Push on Thalia. So it does look like Wastelanding that Flooded Strand would have actually killed it, would not have been able to crack it in response. Question is, would that have been enough? We'll see if I end up being exactly 1 mana shy or not. And Dark Ritual, Ball Ritual adding 1. So Storm 6, 4 black mana floating. Got an Infernal Tutor. And it looks like an error here in not using Infernal here. And the Leyline of the Voids means not actually going to be able to get this done with a Tendrils. So 4 mana floating, access to 5 more, that's a total of 9. The storm count can go from 6 to 7 to 8 to 9. We can do 18. Could have left him at 1 damage, or 1 life with a Dark Confidant in play, but that Scavenging Ooze could eat the Thalia. It doesn't actually run 1 casting cost cards in all likelihood, because he is a Chalice deck. So it's probably 0 or 2 that he'd be taking. But Empty the Warren's coming down for 14 goblins, and then this Infernal Tutor being used after. So it looks like it would have been better for sure to play the Infernal pre-combat, or pre-comboing off, get an extra Lion's Eye Diamond in play, and that would have added 2 Storms. So instead of 14, we would have had 18 goblins. And that would have been a significantly stronger line. Instead, post-combat, searching for a Fatal Push. Not even sure what the best card to grab post-combat is. His answers are mostly going to be instants and sorceries. It's not like he's going to jam a Ensnaring Bridge here. He does need to attack in order to win this game. That type of card not really available to him. Chalice at 1, blanking that Fatal Push in hand. And looks like he probably cannot go aggro here. I would trade goblins off. Now, I'm facing a lethal crackback. So going to have to keep some guys home. The question is how many? Keeping 4 guys home ensures that I take 0 damage, even if he does draw a removal spell. And just going to keep 1 guy home, coming in for 13. He can block 3. That's going to make him take 10 damage. He's actually only going to block 2, so he'll take 11. And can he draw the removal here? It's likely either a sweeper or not. Punishing Fire is a significant out. Mox Diamond coming down. Punishing Fire would just take out this singleton blocker. Toxic Deluge, Golgari Charm, a lot of possible sweepers. Gotta think he doesn't have it if he hasn't played it yet. Considering his possibilities, does he have Green Sun Zenith, or is there a card that he can tutor for? What is the decision here? It's a Cabal Pit, so it is removal, but there's no way for him to get Threshold, and that is brutal. So he had the removal, it just was too conditional in order to get the job done there and force a game 3. That's all for this one. If you enjoyed the video, please help grow the channel by subscribing. You'll be notified when we upload new videos like Fast Effect, Double Speed Magic with commentary, or Untapped, our raw tournament gameplay. Thanks for watching.